Well, hello, hello, hello. Jane Hogan, the wellness engineer here. Welcome to my Ask the Natural Pain Relief Expert Anything. So I put a form out there and looked for questions, and I got some questions back. So I'm going to answer these. So a little bit about me. I am as I said, the wellness engineer. I worked as a real engineer for about 30 years until pain from rheumatoid arthritis told me I had to make a change. I put my problem solving skills to work, my engineering problem solving skills, and I figured out how to be pain free naturally. And now I teach other people how to do this. And absolutely love what I do. And yeah, I love to share all this. I blend my backgrounds in science, my engineering background, and also the lifelong interest I've had in spirituality to do this. So let me get to some questions. And if you have any questions live, just type them into the comments. I'd love to hear them. For now, I'm going to go back to some of the ones I've had submitted ahead of time. So Janet asked me, what foods are considered inflammatory? What foods are considered inflammatory? Well, this is really an individual question. What's inflammatory for one person might not be inflammatory for another person. So you really need to figure out what's inflammatory for you. And how do you do that? The best way is to do an elimination and challenge type of food plan. So you want to eliminate a food for a minimum 3 weeks or so, and then add it back in. You eliminate a bunch of foods, add them back in one at a time. But I will tell you that there are some foods that are across the board inflammatory for, I don't know about everyone, but most people. And I figured this out for myself right in the beginning when I really didn't know what was going on. I didn't have a diagnosis, but I had this joint pain all over my body. I had these big, like, golf ball size and inflammation on my knees. I could hardly walk. I couldn't make a fist with my hands. So I was in a really bad way. And my doctor actually told me that there were some foods that contributed to inflammation, pain and inflammation. I really thought that was kind of crazy. But anyway, the foods she told me to try were gluten, dairy, and sugar. And so I eliminated those cold turkey because I was just in so much pain. I was like, I'm just going to give this a try. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't have a food plan to follow. I was just like making it up as I went. But I did know that within about 5 days, I had significantly less pain. And this is really interesting because there's a connection between gut health and pain. And the cells that line our small intestine turn over. They replace every 3 to 5 days. So basically what happened was, in a very short period of time, these cells started to replenish a little bit, and so I had less triggering of my immune system, so less inflammation then. And so inflammation is what leads to pain, right? So gluten, dairy, and sugar are some of the big ones, right? And it's not just sugar, but sugar substitutes as well. Now, in all the research and so on I've done since then, I've learned of other ones that are inflammatory. So I can share some of those with you too, that these are foods that are inflammatory for most people. Food additives, okay? These aren't even really foods, but they're a lot of the things that are added to our packaged foods. Just look at the ingredient labels. Just look at ingredient labels and see what's there. If there's things on there that you don't know what they are, if they sound chemically, then they aren't good for your body. Our body doesn't know what to do with those. And so they can mount an immune response, which then causes inflammation, which leads to pain. But our bodies are amazingly resilient and can recover very quickly. All right, so food additives, gluten, dairy, sugar. Now, another thing that I really didn't know much about was oils. There are a lot of oils, processed oils, that are quite inflammatory. So things like canola oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil. These sound like they would be nice and healthy, but the reality is, corn oil is another one. They're highly processed. They're already oxidized by the time we get them. And you've probably heard of oxidative stress in our body. Well, when you have these oils, you automatically get inflammation in your body. So stick with quality oils when you're using oil. So these are things like a nice organic, high quality olive oil. Don't use it though for cooking at higher temperatures. Use it just for like low temperature or for salad dressings. Avocado oil is a great oil. It's good at high temperatures, and it doesn't have a lot of flavor to it, so it's a nice neutral kind of oil. It's great for salad dressings as well. And then the other one I use a lot is coconut oil. So that's the stuff that's solid and white. Really nice. It's good for high temperatures as well. It does have, a little bit of a not sweetish coconut flavor. So sometimes you don't want that. So in that case, I would use the avocado oil. So there you go, the oils. And a couple of other foods that are quite inflammatory are corn and corn products. I know. Soy and soy products. Most of the corn and most of the soy that's available to us is genetically modified. It's been heavily sprayed with pesticides and or even ready to be sprayed with pesticides. And so products that are made from those as well are also inflammatory. So that's kind of the big, I always call them the big seven. And if you just cut back on those, even just try it, not having those for, just give yourself a week and see how you feel. The other thing is you will lose weight because part of this inflammation is that we hang on to weight. We our body has to store this stuff in fat tissues and so on. So you will definitely lose weight. I'm not big on losing weight. That's not what I'm about, but it's a happy side effect of eating healthier, eating in a way that serves your body. All right. So thank you very much, Janet, for that question. Next question I had was from Susan, and she said, I've heard meditation is supposed to help relieve pain. How does that work? Yes, so meditation, isn't it amazing? 20 years ago, I hardly knew anyone that meditated, and now there's lots of people. The way meditation works is that it calms our system down. So our system that runs our body, the autonomic nervous system, can be in two states. One of two states. It's either in fight, flight, fear, freeze, that survival mode, or it's in the rest, digest, rejuvenate, repair mode. Can't be in both of those states at the same time. So the thing about when we're in the rest, digest, repair mode, that's where healing happens. That's where also where all of our body systems are, our endocrine system, our digestive system, our circulatory system, our immune system, our reproductive system, and so on. All of our systems run smoothly in that state. In the other state, the fight, flight, fear state, so this is also called the sympathetic state, and the rest and digest is the parasympathetic state. When we're in the sympathetic state, the fight, flight, fear state, where we're when we're stressed, then all of these systems go offline. So we don't digest very well. Our immune system doesn't work very well. Our endocrine system doesn't work very well, and then before we know it, we're not sleeping very well. So the more often we can get ourselves into the rest, digest, repair state, the parasympathetic state, the better off we are. We have less inflammation, we have less pain, we sleep better, all of those things. So meditation, and it doesn't even have to be complicated, it can just be like sitting down and just focusing on your breathing. Anything though that takes you out of this thinking about the past, worried about the future, any of that stuff, anything that brings you into this moment where you're just feeling this moment, noticing your breath, noticing that in this moment you're safe, Anything like that will help relieve pain. So if you can train yourself, because it's our mind is running and running and running all the time. So one of the practices that comes with meditation is stilling those thoughts a little bit. Just giving yourself a little break away from those thoughts. So give it a try. And it like I said, does not have to be complicated. Just take some time, set a timer for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and just see if you can just listen to your breathing for that amount of time. And anytime your thoughts wander away, just go, oh, there we go. But bring it back to your noticing your breath again. Try that. So that's how that works, Susan. Thank you for the question. Next question is from Betsy. She said, isn't arthritis just part of getting older? How can I change it? Oh, this is a great question, Betsy. I never like hearing that anything is a symptom of getting older. So, yeah, I was told, yeah, you'll learn to live with it. It's, just get used to it. But we don't have to learn to live with pain, people. We really, really don't. I'm an example of it. I know plenty of other people that are an example of it. And we really don't have to learn to live with pain. Getting arthritis is common. I will say that. It's called like normal, though it's just normal. As you get older, you get arthritis. It's common, but not normal. It's common in our culture because of with the way we live, the way we eat, the way we rush, 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 rush. We're in a lot of stress. All of those things make it very common. So then it seems normal, but it isn't normal. You can make changes and reverse it. You really can. And very simple lifestyle changes. And I would say that a lot of people think, well, I gotta give up all these foods that I love. Don't even start with that. Start with just how you're thinking and being more peaceful, even being more peaceful while you're eating. In fact, I'm going to share that. I got a great tool you can download. Just let me find it here now. It's called 3 Ways to Calm Inflammation While Eating. So I'm just going to put that in the comments. There you go. So you can go download that. It's totally free. And it's a guideline about how to lower pain without even changing what you're eating. You just change how you eat. And you feel more peaceful while you're eating. You feel grateful for your food. And you'll actually, you're putting yourself into that parasympathetic state while you're eating. Your digestion works better. And when your digestion works better, you're not firing up the immune system. And so you can actually help turn down that inflammation and then turn down the pain. Really simple yet powerful. Don't underestimate how powerful it is just because it's so simple. Turn off the television, put away your phone while you're eating. Enjoy the people that you're eating your food with. Have some great conversation. Feel thankful for your food. Appreciate how it tastes. Eat slowly. All those great things. It's really interesting. There's a lot of study about the Mediterranean diet and how it's so healthful, and people live longer and all that stuff. Well, there's other studies that are saying it may not even be the diet itself. It may just be that in a lot of these countries like France and Italy, Greece, that people tend to make meal times more of an event. So they're sitting around with the family and they're eating slowly. And so it's how they're eating as much as what they're eating. So there you go. I always say that digestion starts actually in our head. So we start in our head by just getting ourselves into um, the signal that it's time to eat and digest our food. So there you go. Thanks very much for that question, Betsy. And if anyone that's watching has a question, just type it in the comments and I'll answer them. Okay, last question that came in ahead of time, and that is from Frances. And she said, I've noticed that my joint pain gets worse when I'm stressed. Is there a connection? Yes, I've I've got a friend who says every time she has an argument with her husband, she gets shoulder pain. So, and she said it's just happened so many times she knows. And I know myself, like I reverse the pain. I don't have pain very often, but I still will get flares. And when I get a flare, it's either I ate I ate something different, like usually restaurant food, and I don't know what's in it, probably those inflammatory oils that I talked about. Or the other thing is I'll look at what have I been thinking? Have I been having stressful thoughts lately? And I can often trace it back to that. It could be stress. It could also be sadness. It could be worry and fear. Any of these kinds of emotions can actually affect our pain. How does this happen? So going back to what I said earlier about our central nervous system or autonomic nervous system that's running our body, right? We don't have to think about running our heartbeat. We don't have to think about, oh, now it's time to release some bile to help digest that food. We don't think about any of that. All of that is being run by our subconscious mind and the autonomic nervous system. So uh, it's all running the show. So when we're feeling stressed, the autonomic nervous system's like, uh-oh, something going on out there. We better get ready. We might need to run. We might need to fight. We might need to freeze and hide. So forget about digestion for now. Forget about the immune system for now. Forget about the endocrine system. Like put all those aside. Get the heart going. Get blood going to those muscles, and because we may need to run. So all of that's going on, and our system that should be running smoothly isn't running smoothly. So yes, definitely when we get stressed, we can actually cause more pain. So there you go. There's some answers to your questions. And if you have any questions, just type them in the comments. I'll check back afterwards. I can answer them. And I hope you enjoyed this and got some insights, and also enjoy that download that I've got for you, that little free guide on how to lower your pain without even changing what you're eating. Start with this 3 easy ways. Okay, my friends, hope you have a great evening. It's been fun chatting with you today. And take care until next time. Bye.